Go get them, President Trump. Reduce that spending. We're behind you 1,000%. Well, he has. He has. 0.1% he's asking us to reduce. And I'm not saying senators shouldn't ask questions and make some changes if they need to be made, but here's the bottom line. It is gut check time. It is gut check time. You either believe in reducing spending or you don't. We're giving $3,600,000 to Haiti for pastry cooking classes, for cyber cafes, for dance focus groups, for male prostitutes. The president's saying, I don't think so. I don't think that the American people support giving their hard-earned money to male prostitutes in Haiti. So he's asking us to cut it out. He's asking us to reduce the budget by $833,000 because some of President Biden's bureaucrats gave a contract to transgender people, sex workers, and their clients in Nepal. That's why I call it spending porn. Triggers your gag reflex. You look at this stuff and you go, what in God's name? And so I'll offer these bills tomorrow, and people can vote yay or they can vote nay. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Hey everyone, you just saw that clip from John Kennedy, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. The government is shut down again, and it's everyday, hardworking Americans who feel the impact, while Congress continues getting paid. That contrast is what many see as pure hypocrisy, and Kennedy has been one of the voices calling it out directly. We're about to go through a full breakdown of his proposed solution, along with his sharp reaction to the Democrats' approach to fixing the situation. It's definitely a wild ride. Is this the kind of common-sense solution people have been waiting for? Share your thoughts as we go, and if you want more breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe. All right, let's get into the full clip.
Tomorrow I will be bringing two bills before the Senate. They both have to do with the shutdown and congressional pay. The first bill is the No Shutdown Paychecks Act. The second bill is the Withhold Member Pay During Shutdowns Act. The first bill would provide that as long as we're shut down, and I'll explain why in a moment, as long as we're shut down, no member of Congress can be paid. And the money will not be reimbursed at a later date or repaid at a later date. The second bill, to address any 27th Amendment concerns, will say during the shutdown, members of Congress will not receive their pay, but their pay will be escrowed and they will receive it after the government is opened back up. Look, we're in day 36. Like you, Mr. President, I've heard a lot of rumors about we're that close to reaching an agreement. We've been that close for a week. Frankly, I hope I'm wrong in saying this, but I don't think we're really that close. I wish we were, and I hope we are. But I think we're going to be in the shutdown a while longer. That doesn't give me any joy to say that. In the meantime, none of our staffs are being paid. No federal employees are being paid. I got some numbers in this morning that federal workers have had to borrow $365 million so far during this 36-day shutdown in order just to pay their rent. Our military is only being paid partially. Our air traffic controllers are not being paid. People who receive SNAP payments are only being partially paid. I don't think anybody wants to see anybody go hungry in America, and that's not a partisan statement. I think that's a bipartisan statement. There's precedent for this, Mr. President. Some may say, well, this violates the 27th Amendment. I don't think it does. That's why I'm offering two different flavors of bills. But in 2013, President Obama did the same thing that I'm doing now. They were in a shutdown, and President Obama supported legislation that said, if you don't open up government by this certain date, then you're going to lose your paychecks. And guess what? Members of Congress had an epiphany, and they found religion. They had a Damascene moment, and they opened up government. And that's all this bill will do. I'm not trying to grandstand. I wasn't going to bring this bill. When I got back here Monday, I heard all the rumors like everybody else that we were close. And I hope we are close, but we're not close enough. And so I'll offer these bills tomorrow, and people can vote yay or they can vote nay. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. What you need?
Here would be great.
Just your reaction to this Democrats' proposal. They'll reopen the government if you give them a 1 year.
Yeah, I listened to Senator Schumer's speech. Here's my reaction. God, please give me patience, because if God gives me strength, I'm going to need bail money. What Senator Schumer is suggesting is that we don't do the dumbest thing possible that won't work. Stupid should hurt more. He's saying that we should extend the status quo for a year. What does that mean? That means he wants us to take $35 billion of taxpayer money and give it to the health insurance companies with no guarantee that they will lower premiums. Now, how is that going to reduce the cost of health care? How's that going to reduce premiums? I can tell you what the health insurance company is going to do. They're going to say, thank you very much, and put the money in their pocket. And that's just obvious. And Chuck knows the law. He knows what the statute provides. I mean, earth to Chuck. I don't know what my colleagues are going to do. I can tell you how I'm going to vote. If you ask me how I'm going to vote, the short answer is no. The long answer is hell no.
But Senator, how much longer do you think this shutdown is going to go for?
Well, last night we thought that there were around 7 or 8 Democrats who were very close to working an agreement with us to open up and then have the vote on what Senator Schumer is asking us to guarantee. And I said then it would probably be, if they were in good faith, it would be a minimum of 7 days and probably more likely 10 days to 2 weeks. Now all that's off the table. I think we're going to be in a shutdown for a while. Have you seen? Did you see the original Star Wars?
Yeah.
Remember the cantina bar scene in the original Star Wars? Well, that's what things are like in the Senate right now. It's an intergalactic freak show, and if we've learned anything from this shutdown, what we've learned is, and it gives me no joy to say this, we've learned that the Obamacare exchanges just didn't work. We were told they would lower the cost of health insurance and that it would make health insurance more accessible. It's done neither. And we need to fix it. We need to design Obamacare subsidies or Obamacare exchanges like somebody designed them on purpose. What Chuck's proposing is we just maintain the status quo. That's just putting a fresh coat of paint on rotten wood.
Let's take a moment to break down what we just watched. You're really seeing two versions of John Kennedy here. On one hand, there's the composed, policy-focused senator on the floor laying out a structured argument. On the other, there's the unfiltered Kennedy in the hallway saying exactly what's on his mind. And interestingly, both versions are delivering the same core message. Starting with his Senate floor speech, he keeps it brief and gets straight to the point. He highlights how long the shutdown has dragged on and shifts the focus away from politics to real people affected. Federal workers, members of the military dealing with partial pay, and essential workers like air traffic controllers who are going unpaid. He emphasizes that many families are struggling just to cover basic needs, painting a clear picture of the real-world consequences of the gridlock. Then he zeroes in on the contrast. While all this is happening, Congress continues to receive their salaries. That's where his argument sharpens. He proposes two approaches. Either lawmakers don't get paid during a shutdown, or their pay is withheld until they resolve the issue. The goal in both cases is the same: make Congress feel the same pressure as the people affected by their decisions. He frames it as simple fairness. If others are bearing the burden, lawmakers shouldn't be exempt. He also points out that similar measures have been used before, referencing actions during the United States federal government shutdown of 2013 to suggest that financial pressure can push quicker resolutions. His broader point is that accountability changes behavior. Then comes the hallway exchange, where his tone shifts completely. When asked about a proposal from Chuck Schumer, Kennedy reacts with a mix of humor and frustration. His comments are blunt, even comedic, but they underline his disagreement with the approach. He argues that the proposal essentially maintains the current system while directing significant funds toward healthcare-related costs tied to Affordable Care Act. From his perspective, this doesn't directly resolve the shutdown, but instead prioritizes other financial commitments. He frames it as misaligned with the immediate problem and questions whether it delivers tangible benefits to everyday Americans. In the end, the contrast becomes clear. Kennedy's argument centers on accountability within Congress, while he portrays the opposing plan as focusing elsewhere. Whether one agrees or not, his approach is to simplify the issue into a question of fairness and priorities. So it really comes down to this: should lawmakers share the same financial consequences during a shutdown, or is a broader funding solution the better path forward? Drop your thoughts. This is one of those debates where people tend to feel strongly on both sides.